All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Word with Brownlow. And remember, no one is worthless, no story is worthless. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special guest on my show. Let me give you a couple of words about my guest. Entrepreneur, speaker, author. But today, he's going to be our advisor. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Ryan Akers. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Ty. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Hey, man, I'm just going to get right into it if you don't mind, all right?
Sure, yeah, let's go.
All right. So, right now with COVID and the pandemic going on, times can be tough. We're coming up on the holiday times as well. So, with a lot of stress and, a lot of anxiety going on, how can you, give us a couple of tips on budgeting, during a pandemic?
All right. Great question, by the way. Definitely going to be some testing times coming up here with this whole Black Friday thing and Christmas
Exactly.
right around the corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I normally start off with, and for right now during the pandemic, budgeting is key, right? With that being said, a lot of people ask how to budget. So the first step is simple. Write down your necessities, and then you write down your wants, right? And then eliminate the wants, right? So that means if there's a cable bill that's due, or our internet right now, a lot of people are getting away from cable and satellite and all that, right? But if your internet bill is the most important bill in your house and that's coming up, you probably need to take care of that before you go buy the new J's that are coming out on 2 days, right?
Yeah. Well, I want to apply though, right? Man, look, Ryan, I know it's, COVID going on, it's Club COVID going on, but I got to look fresh for the gram, right? I got to.
So here's the thing. Is looking fresh for the gram going to help you pay bills? Can it help you, your child in school? Because a lot of kids are going to school from home right now. So you got to have internet access, right? Is this going to help you receive and or make money, right? Now, I bought a pair of Jordans myself. I've never made any money just by buying a pair of Jordans, right?
Gotcha.
Now, you have the resale thing. Everybody, you can restock or whatever it's called now, where you can, if that's your thing, congratulations. I don't have the patience for it. Right. But the necessity of it is, if that's your job and that's what you do, congratulations, you found a great niche. But in all seriousness, it's really taking the time to evaluate the things that we're spending our money on, that are taking money away from us rather than us keeping it. And the key to wealth is those who keep money, not just those who can make money, but it's those who keep the money that they make, right?
Okay. So you know what? I'm glad you said that. Keeping the money that you make, because let's talk about trying to stay afloat financially during these times. So,
yeah,
if you're like lucky enough, or I wouldn't even say lucky enough, but knowledgeable enough to have somewhat of a cushion, because it's not about luck. It's just all about knowledge and,
applied knowledge, right?
Right. Applied knowledge. So if you're one of those right now and you're sitting on a little, cushion or what have you, how can you stay afloat during the holidays when you probably do have it to spend, or, you may want to take that vacation because you have the means to. So yeah, how can you stay afloat, or, try to get into a new business or such?
Well, the key to that, Ty, also a great question, but the key to that, I would say, is discipline, right? And that's a lot of self-discipline. This requires you to take an evaluation of self, of said person that you're looking in the mirror, and you can honestly tell yourself, hey, I probably don't need to do this, or hey, you know what, I've budgeted well enough to where I can take that trip, right?
Yeah.
Right now, you can take a trip. I know the flights have gone up a little bit, but the vacation spots have actually decreased a little bit. So you can go get a great trip. Right now, everyone is going to Tulum. Great, go to Mexico. but don't go if it's your whole paycheck. You know what I'm saying? And there's no spending money. I don't care if it's an all-inclusive trip or not. Sit back, wait, Let's put some money into your savings account, checking account, under your bed, mattress, wherever you keep your money at.
Right.
Let's put some there. You know what I mean? As a rule of thumb too, this is a great tip for those that are trying to save and don't really know how or what to do. The rule of thumb is to have 90 days to 120 days. So 3 months to 6 months of your bills into a savings account. Whatever that dollar amount is for you, right? This is your safety blanket, so to speak. So if your bills for the month are, I'm going to just use a round number, of $1,000, right? Then we know for 6 months, we need to be able to have at least $6,000 tucked away. This is not money that has to be used for bills. This is money that you save in case of a rainy day, something happens, maybe you lose a job, ill, a pandemic,
like
whatever.
that. Yes.
Right. Whatever it is, but you know that you have that money there and then you don't touch it. Again, this comes back to being a disciplined person. Right. So.
All right. I like that, being disciplined, man. And bottom line, people, that's what it boils down to, being disciplined. Yeah. And you have to have the smarts just to make the, proper choice. So with that being said, let's talk about businesses,
Okay.
How can businesses shift their budgets to make valuable changes? And companies, COVID has hit a lot of companies hard, and a lot of businesses have had to reshape. A lot of businesses have had to fold as well.
This is true.
This is true. For those businesses that are still afloat and moving, how can they shift their budgets to make valuable changes within their companies?
Okay. Are we talking about the entrepreneur world, or are we talking about just in general? Are you talking about just
you know what? Consensus? Well, since you are an entrepreneur, let's take it from the entrepreneur world.
Okay. Shifting. Well, again, you know what? The big budget word comes down to discipline. One, right? This never changes. And I promise you, on any platform, any great person of wealth will always tell you that if you hear the story, they'll tell you that they're disciplined people, right? They have principles that they follow and they keep those things in line. So as a young business owner, or even a seasoned business owner, you have a small business going, whatever that may be, right? In order to shift, let's go back to checks and balances. What are we spending our money on that we probably can cut back on, right? The necessities of the business in order to make it run, versus the things that we are frivolously, spending money on, right? Because as an entrepreneur, honestly, when you get to the point and you're blessed enough to be able to have a successful, thriving business, of course you spend money, right? Because part of the business is making the money. So you're able to receive those things back, that hard work is coming back, and you're like, yes, I could go get that Louis bag. You could, but is that going to be good business practice?
Exactly. Well, hey,
right?
If looking good is part of the business practice,
right. If I'm tied, then yes, I might need to get the new Louis. I understand.
All right. I like that. Okay. All right. That's totally understood. Now, what about those who want to start their own business? What do you have for them? Because, hey, as I said, we're in the midst of a pandemic. A lot of people have lost their jobs, and some are finding their way. Some are finding their niche. But for some who feel as if they may have a talent, but they just don't know how to get it started, what are some of your tips?
Well, the first tip I'm going to tell you guys is I just recently wrote a book called Getting Things Done.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah. All right. So I would tell anybody that's looking to try to do something like that, purchase the book anywhere you can purchase your book. All right. Shameless plug, but it's a real plug because there's truth into the book. However, in the real world, when you are thinking about leaving corporate America and starting your own business, there are things that you must understand when becoming an entrepreneur. The first thing is it's not easy, right? It's not easy. The sacrifices that you make for self, though, should be well worth it, right? And I think when I think of entrepreneurship, I want your viewers and those people that are going to listen to this to understand that it's about freedom at the end of the day. So becoming an entrepreneur or a small business owner is about setting yourself up to be free from the regular 9 to 5, going to punch in, having to clock in and out for lunch, having to tell somebody you're taking a 15-minute break or put it on your computer. I mean, those things get kind of redundant, and it's, if you really think about it, it's really childish, right? But a lot of people like structure. And so those people would tend to be the people that feel like they need to be able to, the corporate America provides structure for them. So if you're the person that struggles with having a structure, then you need to be able to facilitate your own structure, come up with and create your own plan of action to say, hey, you know what? These are the steps I need to take. This is what I need to do to be able to be successful with it, which is like a step-by-step, basically. Hey, I want to be able to get up at 6. I want to start my work day at 8. I want to take a lunch at 12. I want to take a break at 2:30. If you have to do those things, because everybody is not a self-starter naturally. Sometimes we need different things. So, I know it's easy for me to get up and go, right? My viewpoint and what I look at is never going back to work for anybody else again, right? And so for me, that's enough motivation. I don't need anything else. I never plan on going back to work for someone else. Partnering with people, I don't have a problem with at all. But working for someone else, I don't want to do that again. And so that particular motivation for me gets me up in the morning. The other thing I want to say is, hey, for those people that are interested in being entrepreneurs and or small business owners, there's a concept that I learned when I was a young kid. I went to the YMCA when I was 6 years old, and I wanted to learn how to swim. So my mom signed us up for this swimming class. Literally, the instructor took us and pushed us into the pool. Now, I didn't know how to swim, but what I can tell you is, in a matter of seconds, I was kicking, screaming, and all type of stuff, and I'm still here. So guess what? I didn't drown, right? The moral of the story is sometimes you just have to jump. Or maybe via the pandemic, maybe the pandemic has pushed you into a situation now where you have to claw, kick, scream, do whatever you need to do to make sure that your business is manifested and it's going forward, right?
Gotcha.
Take it as a motivational tool that God just decided to say, you know what? I'm going to shake it up a little bit. I'm going to push you into your greatness. So let's accept that challenge. Let's accept this opportunity that the good Lord has allowed us to have. And if you're that particular entrepreneur, take the step and continue to go forward.
All right. See, hey, you heard the man. Have that leap of faith. Sometimes you just have to go out and do what you need to do. Stop overthinking. And I think part of that time, we're always thinking, well, man, what if this doesn't happen? What if that doesn't happen? And you know what? It's never going to happen because you're always going to be sitting on the sideline thinking about what could happen instead of getting the game. So that is great advice, sir. That is valuable advice. But now let's talk about this a little bit. How important is credit when it comes to starting your business? How important is credit to the individual when it comes to starting?
All right. Sorry, that's an amazing question. And I'm telling you, that's an amazing question because it's something that I had to work on myself personally for a while.
Yes.
I didn't really understand credit maybe about 10 years ago, especially when I was young. I went to college in the military, and guess what? I was like, swipe, 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 swipe. If they're going to approve me, obviously I need to use it, right? If they gave me $30 on a card, I'm using the whole thing. Okay. But what I learned is that has a horrible impact on your credit score, right?
Yes, it does. Yes, right. It does. Yes, it does.
So there's a thing called debt to income, and your ratio needs to be 30% or below. When you're trying to do anything almost. Trying to buy a house, you want to get a car, you want to get another credit card, you want to get a loan from a bank. Credit plays a part in those particular things. And as a small business owner or entrepreneur, a lot of times we don't normally have the capital offhand, or we haven't saved for these particular things. Which, if you did, and you're one of those people, salute to you. You know what I mean? You are definitely ahead of the curve. But to those other individuals, such as myself, because I definitely didn't do it either, you have to. Credit is important, and you need to be able to get your credit score to what I would tell you is at least 700 and above, right? And the reason for that is with a 700 credit score, 750 credit score, yes, it's great, but you want to make sure that your score, I said, and above, right? Because certain places will give you interest rates based on that. So, example, I'm assuming a lot of people have cars, right? So if you ever went to the car dealership, like I have, right? I'll talk about myself for a while.
Okay.
I went to the car dealership before and put down $6,000 or $7,000 on the car that was $25,000, right? And I'm thinking that this is great. Now my interest rate on the paperwork that I'm looking at is like 19.99%. The car, I'm paying for the car for 60 months. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of it, if you really look at the car, I'm upside down as soon as I drive off the car lot. I now owe double whatever the car is. If the car was $25,000, when I'm looking at it, by the time I get finished paying, I will have paid $57,000. It's really absurd to know I got that interest rate based off of my credit versus your credit score being 700, your utilization also being 30% or below. Now you walk into Benz, BMW, or whatever it is, GMC, whatever your thing is. Okay. You can pretty much walk into any car lot with that credit score and a good job, right? You gotta have the money to pay for said thing.
Yes.
Right. But you can pretty much walk in there, dictate whatever terms you want, get an interest rate at 3%, 4% from credit unions anywhere in America, and walk out with probably putting nothing down or very little at all.
Yes.
This is the life that we desire.
I mean, you know what? Everything you just said, it sounded like, yes, I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to dream of that moment.
Tom, you don't have to dream, brother. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what? The key word for today's segment is probably going to be self-discipline. Right?
Okay, all right.
Some discipline on that.
Okay.
We can do that. So credit is definitely important because I use the analogy of getting a car, but it works the exact same. As a business owner, you can walk into a bank or your bank, if you bank with someone now, with a 700 plus credit score and say, hey, you know what? I'm looking to get a line of credit, maybe a credit card for the company, business card or whatnot. With a 700 credit score, low utilization, right? You're more apt to get the card that you're desiring versus the person that's coming with a 580, 620, even 650 sometimes, right? So it's very important. Credit is very important. And why else would you want to have credit? There's a term that we use when I was growing up called OPM, right? Other people's money.
Other people's money.
The rich people in this society, or the wealthy people in this society, do not use their own money. They use other people's money, right? Once I learned this, it was pretty inherent that I established this and use this in my own life, like on a daily basis. Like I never want to pay for stuff now. I always want to. Is somebody else going to pay for this? It's because when you see how it works, it's like, why don't I? If you've ever seen or wondered even, like rich people always get things donated to them. They get like clothing companies just give them stuff.
Yes.
The Kardashians are super rich. Most of them are billionaires now, and yet the companies that are out here give them clothes to wear, give them, certain things to enjoy. And the working class people like you and I, we have to go pay for those things.
Yes, we do.
Right? So let's get our credit up. Let's boss up, be boss men and women, right? And then let's go attack our said dream of entrepreneurship or small business ownership by being able to go to the bank and get us $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 line of credit to be able to use for our business.
All right, man. Y'all, look, the man is dropping these nuggets for y'all to hit. Man, look, he these words, because I know I'm going to go back and play this again and watch it a couple times and be like, yep.
Sir.
Yeah, and I'm going to go get that book too. All right, there we go. Sure. Now, let's talk about tips on being an entrepreneur. Like, what tips would you give entrepreneurs right now? Like, those going out getting the business started, or those who are in the midst of, okay, well, business hasn't been great lately, but hey, what can I do? So what tips do you have for them right now?
Just stay consistent, build a firm foundation. Anything with a weak foundation will crumble. So building a foundation, and when I say foundation for business owners, what I mean is your structure of your business. Build your business structure, make sure that your team is intact and everything is tight. I mean, you might have those weak links, and eventually you'll learn in business to cut the weak links because it's business, right? There's no friendship when it comes to business. So stay consistent. I mean that literally. I've had that happen where you have to cut ties with someone that is your friend, but they're horrible for the business. You have to be able to make that decision, because if you're in business for a reason, and that reason normally is to make money.
That is true.
Right. So right now, I would tell any business owner, entrepreneur, let's stay consistent during this particular time, because you're not always going to be. If this is a downtime for you, you won't always be here, right? But learn how you're maintaining during this particular point in time, so that when your rise happens, you'll never settle back down, right? Because you'll know what it takes to make sure that doesn't happen again, via pandemic or any other reason. So stay consistent, build your firm foundation for said company, business, credit, keep your credit good, and take it day by day. Just breathe. There's going to be challenges that happen. There's going to be things that you face, and these things are to make us stronger individuals. I speak from experience, so it's not something that I'm just trying to pat you on the back and say, hey, you know what, you can do it too. No, I'm telling you, there are challenges that I face on a daily basis, being a serial entrepreneur. I have 7 or 8 different businesses going. I am not always at the happiest moment of my life.
Right. Well, right? I mean, you have 7 or 8 businesses, so, 4 may be up, but the other 3 you have to focus on a little bit more. So,
Exactly.
I understand that, so, hey, those are great tips, man. Let's talk about this book you have here, Getting Things Done.
Yes,
Tell us about this book. Tell us, hey, you know what? I'm going to go out and get this book. What kind of information can I find in it?
All right. Getting Things Done was, first of all, written for the person that is entrepreneur minded, right? And the person that is just tired of settling for settling. Right. You have this great idea in your mind, and you're like, one day I want to be able to make this happen, yet you never do it. Right. It's geared to the person who's a procrastinator. So if that's you, go get it. And while writing this particular book, there's something that happens within myself, because it was very personal to me to know that you could be in a position of lack. And when I say lack, I don't necessarily mean financially. Right. You can lack motivation. You can lack encouragement. You think that people should be behind you. So you put a lot of weight on yourself, and then you tend to think that you cannot do something that you really can do. The battle is in our mind most of the time, right? Our mind is our strongest muscle. And if we exercise positivity, affirmations, these words that you tell yourself, I will be successful, this business will flourish, we will succeed, right? I am worthy to be successful. These are things that I tell myself. So this is not something, again, but the book is written from that same perspective. And I knew that if I was writing different topics down, such as mindset, which is the first chapter in the book, right? We go over 10 different mindsets that are normally thrown out there that are really horrible mindsets to have. So it's kind of a thing where I don't want people to get caught up into things that are normal in society, because those successful people, we tend to think that they're abnormal, but the reality is they were able to block out the things that we deem to be on a normality basis and go forward, right? So the book, Getting Things Done, is for you. It's for that person. No procrastination anymore, right?
All right.
Let's get up and go. And as we discussed about jumping out there, get it done. Just no excuses. Just get it done.
Just get it done. Hey, get it done, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't say it. He just told you. Get it done. All right. Hey, look here. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, Mr. Ryan Akers, this has brought us to our last question.
Yes, sir.
The question my show is known for, but I think I have an idea of what the answer is going to be, but you just never know. You just never know. So, Mr. Ryan Akers, what is the one word that best describes you and why?
I have a lot of different words. That's a good question, Ty. So I'm really trying to find the best word that I can find. I'm going to say hardworking.
Hardworking. I like it.
And why? I was raised in a very hardworking family. My dad worked his tail off. My mom worked her tail off. Raised, 4 of us. And not the best of situations, but it was definitely, we made it all work. We made it look good, right? And so one of the things that I wanted to do was make sure that I, myself being a father, wanted to leave that kind of a legacy to my own child. I want to make sure that she understood that anything that she desires to do and or be in this world, she can do that as long as she busts her butt, right? Work hard at whatever it is, be the best at whatever that is, and then let the chips fall where they may. So.
All right. Hey, man, look, you know what? My word for you is going to be motivation and inspiration. I mean,
Thank you.
This drop too. I mean, I know it's one.
Thank you. Thank you.
But no, like, I think those are like great, factors to have. And, especially, you're writing your book and you're like trying to inspire the entrepreneur to like be disciplined and just, man, take the lead. So if people wanted to get in contact with you and hear more of you, man, how can people find you?
Yes, sir. The easiest way to get in touch with me, guys, you can go to www.ryanknowsbest.org. Again, that's ryanknowsbest.org. All my social media handles are there. You can purchase a copy of the book. If you would like a consultation, you can do that there. If you just wanted to hit me up and send me an email and say, hey, whatever, you could do that also. The email is there. But the best way to do that is ryanknowsbest.org. And listen, man, I look forward to hearing from you all. Let's do this more often.
All right. Hey, man, this is Word with Ty Brownlow. And remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. You can find me on social media at Word with Ty Brownlow on Facebook, Instagram, and you can also follow me on YouTube at Word with Ty Brownlow. And man, if you just want to go to my website, tybrownlow.com, get this interview and plus much more, please do so. Mr. Ryan Akers, I thank you for joining me, man. This has been great. Ladies and gentlemen, we out. Peace.